Greetings YouTube, it's vacuum of the month time, and it is October already. It sure has snuck up on us, really snuck up on me. I was away on holiday recently. This is why this video is a little late. Also, I want to get one good vacuuming in before I check the bag. So thank you all for subscribing. Thanks for watching, really appreciate it. And thank you Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. So as you know, I've been using the XL-21 all month long. And I really, it's a lot of insight, and I want to get to that. And I also have the next vacuum of the month here in this box, and I will talk about that in just a second. First, I want to just kind of zoom up there. So, as usual, vacuum of the month, I also use this as a mail call. So grab a cup of coffee and take a look here. Now, I wanted to ask my viewers a very important question, which was, what video and what made you subscribe to my channel? And I'm just curious, because there's so many of you out there, and you all are freaking awesome. You're all amazing. You helped this channel grow. We're almost at like 4,000 subscribers now. So definitely, if you want to help us get there, share a video on your Facebook, on Instagram, whatever your social media poison of choice is. And let's get started. So the first thing I wanted to address was I wondered how many people are currently looking at the vacuum forums on Reddit. The vacuum forums on Reddit are actually pretty good. There's a lot of sound advice. Though I'd say about a month and a half ago, a troll started showing up. At first I thought it was a bot, but it's quite clearly a troll. So this person copies and pastes this same copy pasta of Consumer Reports, fap to Consumer Reports, and Shark is best vacuum. So this username goes by Book Chaser. I don't believe that's doxing, because that's I find that immensely hysterical. And it's funny now is that now he gets like downvoted like 4 or 5 downvotes per post. But anyway, so if you're up on Reddit, go ahead and check it out. And if you see a troll, definitely downvote it. Now you can engage this troll, but again, he's gonna resort to Consumer Reports. Now the error with Consumer Reports, as most of my viewers understand, is that they get paid off and they're really biased and they don't really do a good job thoroughly testing things. A black circle or a red donut or half a donut or half a circle is not a rating, and they don't really test reliability very well. And Consumer Reports is a very niche group of people. Especially in 2019, people don't usually use Consumer Reports. And the people who do are like baby boomers or like odd stay-at-home people. Nothing against those folks at all. But, it's a very strange group. I wouldn't consider it a general population. Just like the people who come into a vacuum shop probably aren't the general population anymore. That was once the case, it's just not anymore. So I want to address that. So get up on Reddit and take a look at that Book Chaser dude and tell me what you think in the comments below, or maybe I'll see you posting on Reddit. So the next comment, I'm just going to read a few more things around the internet before we get to this. And so bear with me, there will be a little bit more action a little later on. So a lady who went by, I'm going to call her Kimberly, but I think she posted her full name, posted a comment on a video I have about why not to buy a bagless vacuum. This is basically the premise of the video, but I compare the Dyson and the Shark together. And she said, "What bizarre bagged vacuum cult have I stumbled upon?" Laughed my ass off. And I was like, and she said it reminds her of door-to-door salesman. Well, as we know, I'm not a door-to-door salesman. I'm a technician. I've been a manager of a store. I've had to work sales, but really not my thing. And anybody who's ever dealt with me or seen me in a store knows that I'll give a customer, tell them what they need, And it's their choice whether they buy it. I'm not going to sit there for 2 hours and waste their time or my time. As we all know. So what's great is that somebody goes by MHTube01. Again, I don't believe that's doxing or anything like that. Basically proceeds to school her. And that's why I love you guys so much, because you guys are awesome. You guys are pretty educated with vacuums and stuff. And says that you can buy a 10-pack of bags for less than $20 for most machines. And that's absolutely true. And they go back and forth, both of these people. And she eventually says, I don't know a single person who has a bag vacuum. And I post the question is, have you ever been to a hotel? Hotels generally use bag vacuums. So you've met them, you just don't know it. And, really, how many people in their friend circle discuss their vacuum? It occasionally comes up, but I wish it would come up more when, I'm out with friends or something like that. And so this just goes on, and I posted this to the Instagram. So if you're not following us on Instagram, you miss out on some of those things like that. But it was just an excellent schooling by my viewers, and I really want to thank you guys for that. On there. The next one is, I saw somebody, and again, I think they're using their full name, which is stupid. They did I got kicked out of the Shark forum recently after like a year and a half, which is really funny because I would basically tell people just what I tell them in the store. You have to replace the whole nozzle, you need new filters, you need a new vacuum. Simple as that. And I would often give them better solutions. So this person had posted in the Shark forum the review of a Shark, and he clearly has never used any other vacuum, or maybe he bought a Dirt Devil or something before, but it was really a really poorly done review, and he doesn't really discuss much. He just, again, basically to Shark. So I kind of schooled him a little bit. And he admits to using the worst of the worst. And he seems to think that if something's been running since 2016, that's a good reliability. And apparently my cat is meowing. Let's get him. So this little guy was scratching. Say hi to the camera, Tavo. He was scratching and meowing, so sorry about that interruption. So anyways, if you see somebody praising Shark or something, put a comment down. It's important that we have this public description, discussion of what's going on. This thing, I saw this meme. It's an old meme, but I'm going to show it to you anyways. And that is, who would win? A Kirby fan spinning at 30,000 RPMs or one tiny bolt? Obviously the tiny bolt. All right, well, you've heard me yamble and yak enough about this and that. So let's talk about one other thing that I've noticed around the internet. And this is going to segue into something else, which is vacuums have to be metal. I'm sick of plastic vacuums. That's a hunk of shit. I don't know. I mean, you're entitled to your beliefs, of course, but no, as I've explained, metal is not always better, especially when the metal is aluminum, which is a softer metal, and often not as durable as plastic in some cases. And you can get into military field testing where they really get into that with different things, and you can see that plastic is really widely acceptable in a lot of applications now. Oh, I managed to knock over our pumpkin. So wanted to address that, and that also wanted to address that if somebody's asking for advice and you are in country A and they're in country B and they have completely different laws, regulations, in this case North America versus the EU, or soon to be Brexit, the UK. I hope you guys are getting Brexit. I hope Brexit's going through over there for y'all. Big shout out, speaking UK, to Becco, 1987, and Hoover Lux. If you're not subscribed to those channels, they're fucking excellent. Go check them out. I'll try to remember to put a card or a link in the description or something. Anyways, so if somebody asks you what kind of vacuum to buy, and you tell them to buy a Kirby in a country where they don't make Kirbys, or you tell them to buy some options not available, you're just not being helpful. So a lot of times I don't even like to recommend, like if somebody's asking what vacuums are available in Holland, I really don't know. I haven't looked at the market. I know folks, actually I do know somebody in Holland. I do know folks in Germany, and in other places. But I'm really, each market is so different. I'm not going to advise them. If they, ask me which Miele is best, even I don't know, because they come with such different accessories. So it's really different, as you guys saw in my series of Chinese videos. Which, by the way, I'm curious, those didn't get a lot of views. I guess you guys aren't interested in the international, what's going on with vacuums. Again, going by my previous statement. So, I'm not going to post the rest of the China videos. Those are going to go up on Patreon, and if you want to see those, I guess you're going to have to go on Patreon. And big thank you to the Patreon supporters. Let's get into the XL-21 and how it picked up, what I thought of it, and how it was to use. Now, I think the thing that really got me is how light and handy it is. If something's too big or bulky to use, you're not going to use it. And this is such a lightweight package, and it's maneuverable. For some reason, this pushes way easier on my carpet than I expected. It handles really good for not having a swivel neck. So I would like to maybe do a full review on a Pilot, or the whatever Oreck is calling the Pilot. And if anybody's from TTI watching this, please send me some products. I'd love to give you guys some reviews, because you guys are lacking on non-sponsored reviews. Anyway, so let's get into it. Let's unzip it. And I posted the repair video first on this because some sort of moth was nesting in here, so I had to really give this a thorough scrubbing. So let's pull the bag out and see. Now it's self-sealed, and I've got the proper vintage HEPA bags with it, of course, because it's me. And I feel like these bags are bigger than the Simplicity bags. Not as much on top, a lot more settled on the bottom. I don't feel like this really picked up any more or less than the Simplicity, though it sure groomed the carpet a little better, and I'll explain to you why. Let me first put this bag back in the cleaner, because it's not full, so I don't want to waste it and throw it away. It's really easy to change. So, on to the roller. It is a chevron roller, and that really helped groom the carpet, and I think that's why I find this a little easier to push and a little nicer lines left in the carpet. You can see there I have a dryer sheet stuck in there, and then right before I went on my holiday, I actually cleaned the brush roller off. So this has only got 1 or 2 vacuumings worth of hair. I can't think of another vacuum that's really gotten so tangled up. So that's something I would say is a kind of a design flaw. But it's picking up, so who knows. The other thing I want to share was the label on this, because people want to know where it's made, where it came from. It was made in 2007, had a 30-day warranty, and you can see that it was made in New Orleans, USA. This was made before the hurricane destroyed the Oreck factory. So this one was actually made in the US. And that is something I have gotten a few comments about is, oh, I don't like those cheap plastic parts with Oreck, they're made in China. Well, yeah, the new ones are made in China. This one was made in the US. So it stands a little aside in terms of what it is, how it is on there. And this design is almost 20 years old now. I want to say these came out in 2001, 2002, something like that. If you know when the first Orech XL-21 came out, your name is, drum roll, Miss Sylvia Briskowitz. So if Miss Sylvia Briskowitz would get a hold of me, if my Aunt Sylvia would get a hold of me and just remind me when the XL-21 started, I'd love to know. I'm going to do a pickup test with this since I'm not going to do a full review on the XL-21. I will, however, do a review on the current model hopefully soon. So we have our flour, our cat litter, breakfast cereal, and of course some pet hair right there. So you guys get to see exactly how this thing picks up. You know, one thing I was really surprised about is how quiet this machine is. We're going to use this in the number 2 setting, and I'm not going to do this on bare floor. I tried it a little bit in the room where I have a cat box. This thing just kicks so much stuff back that it's not even fair to say it's bare floor friendly. So let's see how it does. All right. A little bit of cat litter. Some snow plowing of some breakfast cereal, but just one piece. Appears to be a little bit of animal hair where one of the ingest bars was. So it did all right. You know, for the age of the vacuum, it did all right. And I want to talk about the ingest bars, because I did. Those are these metal things. That's a technical term for these. And what these are designed to do is to keep you from sucking the cord in the machine. But they also make it not clean as evenly. And that's why a lot of the German vacuums, you see these things are not on them. They're also structural on some Orecks. But all Orecks have those ingest bars. So if yours are missing, definitely replace them. So that's how it did on its pickup test. Let's get the rest of this real quick. And that is a thing I wanted to discuss, is the carpet lines are just beautiful from this vacuum. They really work well in terms of fluffing the carpet up. So if you needed a quick vacuum to do daily routine, or you needed lightweight, I would definitely recommend it. I was vacuuming and I noticed the vacuum kept bogging down. So I know Oreck has addressed this on newer models, but I just wanted to show that, yep, I'm having to change the belt. Granted, I don't know how old the belt was that was on here originally. So we're going to stop and change the belt through the belt door, which you must do with a Orech XL-21, otherwise you can kind of warp this stuff right in here. I've got a package here and got a new belt. I like to put my spare belt in the pocket. That way it doesn't get all messed up underneath. So we're going to try and change this. Yeah, you can see the difference there in terms of how much it's stretched. So we're just going to do this real quick. There's 2 ways you can do this. You can do it either way. I tend to be pretty strong with my fingers, so I can cheat and do that. Technically, you're supposed to do this side first and then walk it on. But, you know, why do that if I have the finger strength to do something else? And I like to do this one by hand, because this screw is going to go in and out a lot in its lifetime. I like to go the reverse until I find the thread. Alright, so that's good to go. So other than the annoyance of having to change the belt, and you can get a model without a belt, I really like the XL-21, and I was really surprised of how much I like this thing. One other note is I complained about the simplicity not getting low. This thing is the same sort of thing. Wait, it doesn't get as low as the canister, so that's something to know. So, goodbye to the XL-21. It gets to go back home. And let's see what my sister, who provided the vacuum of the month, she's moving, relocating, and it's really not convenient for her to take her vacuum, so she sent it to me. Now, you might all ask, what vacuum would I get my sister? I mean, it's a family member. Pretty important family member, right? Well, I'll tell you what. I was working, years ago, I was working at a vacuum store, and she was visiting me from out of town, and said, come by, you know, I'll get you something at cost. And the owner of the vacuum store, her name was Jerry, was really a nice lady. It's a shame, you know, she went through some personal issues, and it's a real shame. But she gave this to my sister out of the kindness of her heart, and I will never forget that. So let's grab a knife, let's open this up, let's see what's here. Now, there's a possibility my sister could have packed in something else as well, so we'll have to excuse that. And we'll see what's in here. Oh, we got peanuts. So we got a wand. We got a nozzle. This will give you a hint of what we got here. We got a lot of hair. This might have to be cleaned up before I do a vacuum of the month. That seems to be a recurring theme. I think most of the vacuums I've done, vacuums of the month, I've ended up having to give them a spa treatment. Would you guys just ask me to use my central vacuum for the whole month one day? That would be great. So put that aside. We got hose. This is quite messy. I feel like you know, I've seen Ibasiac do this a whole bunch of times to get peanuts. Now I got a random set of Hoover attachments. So that's kind of cool that she just gave me Hoover attachments. And nothing else in the box but some packing peanuts. Lots of packing peanuts. So yeah, my sister was given this TriStar by the owner of one of my work. We had it for sale used, and nobody wanted it. And it was a deal at the time. It was in much better condition than it was in now. Again, this is over 10 years ago. But it was in great condition. I have the original invoice for this. It was $1,600 USD back in 2001 or 2003 when it was. I think it was 2003. So let's see. Oh, my sister didn't ship it with a full bag. How nice. Ooh, that's dirty. Let's check out. Ooh, that's dirty. So that's not a good sign. No, this is not a box of Vibrance bags. Vacuum bags parts. I also, upon the owner giving her this, I of course ordered and got for her some extra part. Ha! That's funny. There's a Miele bag in here. This was when the S6 was launched. We were given a goodie bag with the S6, and then we would have these. They ship the rest of them out to dealers, so that's interesting. We have, of course, TriStar bags unopened. That's super handy. We have, of course, a new roller, which she never installed. So that was handy. Again, she broke her hose, and I bought her a used one for last holiday. And I told her to save this in case she needed this. Now, what's cool in here is this is Miele foam. This is actually what the cord reel and a lot of the parts come packed in. We got some exhaust filters, excellent replacement, but not super concerned. We have an empty exhaust filter holder. You can see just $4 retail at the time. Oh, we have a new intake filter. And I'll explain to you how you use these with the funny holder this machine comes with at a later date. Oh, we got a brand new neck. Not sure I'm ever going to need that, but see, that's what that sold for in 2009. Empty bag of the outer bag, and then we got the hose end as well. And then some Miele foam. All right, so that's cool. That's going to be a restoration job, ain't it? Well, I was hoping to kind of turn this on a vacuum But I really don't feel like that would be right in the condition this machine's in. And just to really give you an up close, if you didn't see, even though it's my own sister's dirt, it needs some love. And another thing happened when a few years later, after I gave this to her, she said it was overheating. You know, and we were both living in the same town at the time. So I go over, I take a look at it, and she's using it without the paper bag in place, and she's dumping out this. So I throw that away. I knew she had a new one of these, replaced it. But that's where some of this dirt inside comes from. This is pretty normal, though, built up. So we're going to go take care of this, and you guys will, of course, probably see this on video. And we'll make it Vacuum of the Month. So again, thanks for subscribing. Definitely check us out on Patreon. Go check out that Reddit forum. Again, post below. I want to know why you subscribe to my channel or what you like about my videos. I want to know. I want to hear from you. Have a happy Halloween, and I will see you after you've been trick-or-treating next month.